So I'm seeing here on Twitter that Oleksandr Usyk's K2 promoter, Alex Karusek, I think is how you pronounce it, I'm probably butchering it, claims that he spoke with the WBO president, Paco Vellicarril, I think is how you pronounce that. Weird names. And it basically says that he has guaranteed them that Usyk will be Anthony Joshua's next mandatory challenger. However, Usyk's promoter expects interim bouts for both opponents or for both fighters, but he feels that AJ versus Usyk is inevitable. And that's what he's saying in this Twitter quote I'm seeing here. Now, I think that's interesting, and definitely I'm going to be, keeping my eyes peeled for Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Usyk, because I think that would be a fantastic fight. I think that it would have to happen, I think, in the UK, because fans in America, neither fan would really know who the other person is, because AJ is having his first fight with Jarrell Miller in June, and AJ he's known, but he's not massively known. Like, he wouldn't be a Canelo Alvarez, or we'll say like a Manny Pacquiao, for argument's sake, who was in his prime. He wouldn't be at that level, but he's getting there, and I think a big win over Jarrell Miller, which I pretty much expect now at this stage, will help to raise his stock over in the States. Whereas Usyk's not really known in America. Now, Usyk is kind of he's more known in Europe, especially since, his win over Tony Bellew. I think the UK fans would have taken Usyk a bit more. But for someone, in the States, he's pretty much unknown, because the cruiserweight division doesn't really have a leg to stand on in America. It's never really been taken serious over there, which is sad in a way, considering that we had some amazing fights in the World Boxing Super Series last year in the cruiserweight tournament. But that being going aside, Usyk is having his heavyweight debut in May against Carlos Takam. Now, I was going to make a video on this, but I figured I'll address this as well. And basically, I feel that the Takam fight, I saw Eddie Hearn say that he expected Usyk to fight Takam and then fight Joshua next, which I kind of thought, I couldn't really see that, purely because if you're fighting a Carlos Takam, that's not really preparation for an Anthony Joshua. Usyk, I think, will be taller than Takam. Takam be the heavier man, definitely, but Usyk be taller. He's going to be fighting a shorter guy. He would want to fight someone tall who, is a bit kind of robotic, almost like a Joe Joyce. I don't see that fight happening. I don't think Joyce will take that fight, just purely because given what happened in the World Series of Boxing, Joyce got lit up by Usyk in that fight. But someone like that. So I could easily see Usyk, going down kind of that road before he fights Anthony Joshua. Now, these mandatory kind of titles and these, interim bouts, they do kind of worry me, because I've seen Deontay Wilder claim that he doesn't think that the AJ fight will happen until 2020. Now, say for argument's sake we don't get the Usyk fight this year, he has an interim bout and he doesn't fight Anthony Joshua until next year. Well, what's going to happen then? Will a mandatory be called on Usyk? Will he get, will they turn the other cheek, and will they let Wilder fight Joshua, or the other way around, Joshua fight Wilder? I don't know. The heavyweight division now is kind of it's coming into life, because we have three big names, and we have guys like Miller, White, Brazil to an extent, and Usyk kind of chopping at the bit, wanting to kind of get at the throat of the champions. And one of my friends told me this, and he basically said that in the course of 3 weeks, or 3 or 4 weeks, we'll have Tyson Fury, who stakes his claim as the lineal heavyweight champion. We'll have Deontay Wilder fighting, and we'll have Anthony Joshua fighting. And he wouldn't be surprised if one of them lost. Now, I would. I think that out of them 3 fights, and I might get some criticism for saying this, I think the most likely person to lose would be Anthony Joshua. Because I think Brazil is almost tailor-made for Deontay Wilder. Tom Schwartz, I don't see Fury having much trouble with him. The only thing I could see about Miller Joshua would be maybe Miller exposing Anthony Joshua's stamina, but he's going to have to walk through hell to be able to do that. So I probably couldn't really see that happening. But, one of my friends expects one of them 3 to lose. I don't, personally. I think they'll all have a reasonably straightforward time with the 3 opponents. And if Anthony Joshua did fight Usyk, say he fought him this year, they had an interim fight and Usyk fought Joshua, how would you see that fight going? Would you make Joshua favourite? I know I'd be picking Anthony Joshua to win the fight, but I definitely think that Usyk would give Anthony Joshua a hell of a lot of problems. I just think that someone of Anthony Joshua's size would be a bit too much for Usyk to bear, but I definitely wouldn't rule him out. Oh no, I wouldn't rule him out, because Anthony Joshua, he's for someone like Usyk would find a home for that left hand. But I just think that the size of Anthony Joshua, and he's more skilled than a Joe Joyce, so he wouldn't be able to, have his way with Joshua that he did kind of Joyce, and Joyce was very young at the time. So I think that if that fight did happen this year, I would make an Anthony Joshua favourite, but I wouldn't rule out Usyk pulling an upset. But anyway, I want to know what you think. Leave your thoughts down below. Would you want to see Usyk versus Joshua? And if so, who do you think will win? And Usyk's heavyweight debut coming up. How do you think he'll fare the heavyweight division? Do you think he'll win a title? Do you think the guys will be just too big? Leave it all down below. As always, thanks again for dropping by the channel. If you like the video, please hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, I will talk to you after.